Good morning, Roy.
Good morning. Good morning.
I think I'm going to copy trade these this morning.
Whoa. Getting a move right out the gate.
Yeah. I gotta remember which ones are which. Oh, I made a video yesterday, so I got my account numbers hid to know which one's which. All right, let's see. This is 827. Okay, gotcha. There we go. Not sure if we're going to actually trade them. Oh, that is a nice move down.
Yeah,
I took a short this morning off the 21 break on the other boys and took $300, and I could have hit my $600 easily if I would have waited, but this candle here kind of threw me off a little bit, so we got out of it. So, oh well, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a fade the rip type of morning. Looks like every green cluster gets followed up by some big red candle.
Well, that's where we're at right now. So, but as soon as market opens, that could change.
Absolutely. Good morning, Cashy. Good morning.
Good morning, Cashy out.
We got the I'm gonna flip over to my chart. We got my little green zone coming back in the equation, and then the 5-day moving average right at the top of that zone, about 58. So still got about 6 points to go before that comes into play. Let's kind of go over the data this morning. We'll flip over. We had ADP employment numbers, and we had GDP. I think, is it final or preliminary? I think it was preliminary.
So if we go down to GDP, came in at 2.8, forecast is 2.9, previous was 3%. You got GDP price book. Let's look at U.S. core prices, 2.2. So you've had some, you would think there would be semi-bullish data, but the only thing that might be a little sticking point is the prices tad bit higher than forecast. So that it did beat previous, but it did not beat the forecast. That could be something to keep an eye on. That could be why we're coming down. This morning, you got U.S. pending home sales coming up at 9 with the home sale index. You crude traders. You got all this crude stuff going on. You had some OPEC news overnight where they might not do their price hike. So I have not looked at oil this morning, but I would expect to see a slight little pop in oil. Let's see. You had some German news come out, which I'm not sure if that's what's bringing us down. I'm not really sure what's bringing us down right now, to be honest with you, but something is. It's not liking something out there this morning.
Well, you got the ADP number at the top here. If you scroll up just a hair, the ADP came in white hot at 233,000 jobs compared to a forecast of 110,000.
There's your reason.
Your jobs number came in pretty hot on the private side from the ADP. So we haven't dug into those numbers or anything as far as what's part-time, what's seasonal, and all that. But you've got quite a bit of strength there in the job market. Then you've got a kind of a weakening GDP at 2.8% compared to the 2.9%. A couple ways you can look at the GDP number is say, oh, well, it's coming in lower, so they anticipate weakness, so therefore the Fed will cut to accommodate the economy. The other side of that, of course, is, oh no, GDP is falling. Are we trending towards more of a recessionary view of the economy? And it doesn't really matter what the Fed does if the economy starts to crack. So,
what's the GDP? What's what's the number we're looking for? So many GDPs at a certain number or so.
I believe
Months
two
is recession.
consecutive quarters. Two consecutive quarters.
Is it quarter?
Yeah, give you a recession indicator. So something to keep an eye on as we've gotten some data. Of course, last night I'm going to flip over to the earnings guys. You had AMD get clobbered, down 7.5%, 153. They did not report very good. Google, on the other hand, ripping up 6.2% with $180. What a beast. It has also triggered this kind of cascading effect where Microsoft jumped almost 2%, near 440. Amazon has jumped 2%, up $4 in pre-market. Meta has jumped $10, and Meta was even climbing in after hours last night after the report. So Meta closed at 593, and that was a 2.5% day, and it's now up almost another 2%, a percent and a half here in pre-market, over $603. So we've got a lot of things we're watching. Obviously, these particular tech names are strong. We go over to Apple, and they're heading into their earnings on Thursday. They're down 0.5%. Nvidia, was getting hit. Could be related to the AMD report, down 1.7%, under 140 again. We've got Tesla, who is just slightly down, just down 0.7%. So you've got Mag 7 outside of Tesla, either up pretty big or down pretty good. So getting a mixed bag all around. And we've got ES kind of just on a beeline to the 5-day moving average, 58.58, and at the top of my little long-term zone. So not a good start to the day for bulls.
Yeah, if you're looking, just glancing at Bookmap, this is a quick glance, but seems like 58, around 58, 55. If it can break that, we might go all the way to 58.40. We got a long ways to go before that happens, but it's not looking too strong. CBD's already at negative 7,700, which is pretty stout for a pre-market. Of course, now we've been trending down since 9 o'clock last night, and you can see in my area with the zones we drew, got right up to this zone and it's rejected down, and it's been on a downward swing since. So we're actually probably gonna have to do a different. We're gonna have to actually draw a different trend. We're gonna have to draw a trend here for the break.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a little trend line down. So we kind of got a few things going. What we'll do too, if we won't take long, we break this trend. What we're going to do today is we're going to actually swap over to the 1 minute to look for an entry. So that is only on the pop above it, if we get above it. So we're going to play what the charts give us. I do have a right now, so we're not going to worry about that. We're going to trade a strategy where the bias does not matter. That was a perfect candle by candle there, though. Again,
yeah, it was.
Just gave you a little bit on it, but nothing, not a lot so far, but a little bit. We can see if it plays out in the long run.
I got a lot of colors on my chart. I'm flipping over. I don't know how I feel about this. I know how you feel about it.
You do what?
I said I got a lot of colors on my chart. I don't know how you feel about it. I know how you feel. I know. But that green channel you're seeing, I don't know what that line is. Oh, that was my channel. Yeah. The green channel, this is the daily chart. This is kind of my long-term uptrend we're in. So if you see a big green section on my chart, That's what that is.
And we've said it before. The higher time frames, the stronger the zone or the channel or the trend line is going to be. So
Yeah, and it's huge. I mean, it's like a 50-point range.
I did a video last night on how I draw my zones and stuff for the people that asked. We'll get that out the next day or two.
Yep. Looking forward to editing and looking at that one.
It's very simple. Very simple. It's just these zones I think I say it every time about how we overcomplicate things. When you watch this video, you'll see that I do not overcomplicate this. It is very simple, and it plays out so much more than you could ever imagine. So, one thing that's interesting. So, if you're looking here, you see this whole consolidation area.
Mm-hmm.
This whole level here is consolidation, and we finally get the break. We come back, retest that consolidation, drop, come back, retest it again, drop. So you got to think if we get back here, and it might be worth actually drawing a zone on it, just because it has been so. Get that whole zone there. That is actually you can see came to the bottom, pop, broke it, test,
Retest.
Tried to come back, test again, broke. So it won't be one we just throw an order at, but if it gets there and we see a rejection. And it also depends on if it's in this trend line or this trend line. So we could see. We're looking for. We're not getting our trades. We're looking for signs of exhaustion one way or the other. This right here, these upper wicks here, kind of let you know that this candle right here told you everything you need to know. This candle was definitely setting up a short. It showed they tried to push it back up higher above this, back in the zone. They couldn't do it. It rejected. Try to get here, push back, and this is actually looking super bearish here too. Now, come up, test the 8, and it's rejecting back off. So everything as far as the charts this morning are saying that it's bearish as bearish can be, but that all could change in 16 minutes.
Yeah, and there's some big names that are up quite a bit, and they can more than carry this market if it can bring up Apple and Nvidia with it. So,
and they also could come back down to reality too when they let it open.
If that happens, look out. Yeah. So a lot of things we're watching for this morning. Again, not trying to rush anything. Let's take a look at TNX. So TNX on kind of a little downward trend in today. So yesterday, Monday, gapped up. And then Tuesday, let's see, what did we do Tuesday? Kind of trended down, recovered, and now we're kind of trending back down again. Interesting look. Dixie.
Finding legs.
Wow, it got to 104 last night or this morning. And it's finding legs. Interesting that it found legs on that GDP number. Or now it found legs on the ADP number. ADP report spiked it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Buenos dias, wait, huh?
Buenos dias.
We're Spanish today. Hola.
Hola. Well, VIX looks like it wants to do a little cup action.
Yeah. SMCI is getting crushed.
Let's pull that guy up. I think AI is not going to have a good day today.
I think.
30%.
Did NU had some? Did they not have some news come out this morning? Did I see that, or am I imagining that?
Let's see. Micron.
Yeah.
It shares fell 1.2 amid broader decline. Now, let's see. Give me some news.
Dell, here's your news. Dell moving off SMCI. Super Microcomputers independent auditors Ernst & Young resigns over governance and transparency concerns. Wow. they are getting some ugly data come out of them this morning. That's where the data came. And it is not pretty. Yeah, how I just read that. That's interesting. That's not a good look at all. At all.
Could be the fall guy.
All right, let's see.
So got a pretty good little candle here recovering, and it's testing the 8 ribbon. Got a lot of stuff overhead though, so we'll see as we continue to monitor. Google's probably going to be the star of the show today. Yeah, I'm sad that I don't play earnings because this was my pick of the Mag 7, and as you can see, it just skipped all of those levels, and it will open right here.
Wow.
It'll be $10 away from its all-time high.
So you have calls on them?
Nah, I don't play through earnings. I had calls for January. I believe I had 160 calls, 165 calls in January.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you look smart now, don't you?
It happens every once in a while. 160 calls for January 25th.
Wow, Roy. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, this is why I tell you don't buy it.
But I don't. I had earlier. I had closed these in September. I had 150 calls for January.
If a lot of you don't know, Roy tries to buy in the money.
Yeah, close to in the money and with time for longer swings. Oh, Howie could feel us. He was short SMCI yesterday, got busy doing other stuff. It's the worst. But
yep.
it's all about risk management for me on the options side. I do enough dumb stuff on futures that I tend to try to be a little bit more conservative on the options.
So. Yeah, well, back to what I was saying. Roy buys in the money calls. I used to always, when I traded calls and put so much, I would always buy at the money. So give it a little more wiggle room. Wasn't quite as expensive. Roy would pop up a $6,000 contract. Like, wow, okay. Go on and flex.
Well, flex, but I can lose a couple $100 pretty quickly, but not freak out about it, right? Because I've got some insurance with the strike price. Well, we'll explore those strategies at a later date. It's it's one that I'm still tinkering with. But you buy quality companies that when they get beat down and you give yourself some time, frankly, you're either going to be right or you're going to be wrong. So the strike price is all just really about risk management.
Yeah, crazy thing about me and Roy, you'll notice we agree on a lot of stuff, but we could not be further apart on a lot of other things.
Yeah, no, we
like, hey, we agree on this, but everything else is like complete opposites.
Which is good.
Reading a thing here says, as far as auditor statements go, E&Y's SMCI resignation letter is about as strongly worded as I've ever seen put out. So it must be really bad.
It's going to be bad enough that we're going to add it to the watch list. 34%.
That is crazy. We've got about 10 minutes till open. I'm trying not to forget about open this morning. Here recently, see a move. Oh, look, we're moving. Oh, it's open.
As far as data for today, kind of flip back over. We're not really seeing. We've got pending home sales at short 30 minutes after the bell. And then you've got your. Actually, let me flip back over to me. Here's your earnings calendar. Microsoft, Meta, Coinbase, Robinhood.
You even got
Etsy, Roku.
Yeah, you got the little Roku and Carvana, the little cult chains down there.
Yeah. You get retail loves those, and then Starbucks. So you got quite a bit of a fleet of earnings again today. Obviously headlined by Microsoft and Meta, and no title, not yet.
I don't think you have a hangover tomorrow either, sir.
Yeah,
Great.
conspiracy theory.
Comeback in MLB history.
They want to celebrate at home. They don't want to celebrate in New York.
The Yankees are going to take it. We're going 7 games, baby. Look, I'm not a Yankees fan, just so everybody knows. I am pulling against the Dodgers, and it's just easy. I can rag Roy Easy and Lewis and them in the chat, but hey, remember what chat you're in, Roy Easy. You're in my side.
You're safe, Roy Easy. let it rip. The Yankees woke up a little bit. You know, their fan ripping the ball out of Mookie Betts' hands ignited them.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
He looked so happy too while he was doing it. It was
absolutely. Wouldn't you be happy?
And his friend was like not holding him back, but like holding Mookie Betts' other hand.
Teamwork, baby. Teamwork.
Yeah.
You got to appreciate it. One thing about them Yankees fans, they work together.
What, a $3,000 ticket? He lasted a half an inning.
Yeah.
But he's infamous now, so.
Well, at least it's not a Bartman scenario like the Cubs that time. That was when you do it for your home team. Remember that?
Oh yeah. I went to Wrigley Field and I tried to get a picture of the Bartman seat, and this guy refused to. He just sat in the seat and refused to move out of the seat after the game. He just sat there, just basically not allowing anybody to take just a picture of the seat. You had to take a picture of him in the seat.
It is crazy the hate that man got. And if you look at it, he didn't really do anything right. He did what any other fan would have done at that moment.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about crazy.
People forget that was not the elimination game for the Cubs.
Yep.
That was they still had to show up the next day, and they didn't.
Yeah. Trust me, I know. I'm a diehard Cubs fan. Been a Cubs fan ever since I can remember. I was watching a thing the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I could beat everybody." It was they were asking the Ole Miss baseball team, "What's your favorite, most obscure player?" And people were naming like David Ortiz. Like, okay, David Ortiz is not.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wanted to respond. Jody Davis, catcher for the Cubs in the '80s. Like nobody remembers Jody Davis. I had every baseball card he ever made. Still have Jody Davis is my hero.
Did you play baseball in school?
I did, yes.
Catcher, I assume.
No, I played everything but catcher. I
just
like so Jody Davis.
Catcher, yeah.
If you don't remember, of course nobody remember because nobody knows who Jody Davis was. But Jody Davis used to wear the batting helmet that did not have an ear flap on either side.
And
that's what he wore to the plate, wore his under his catcher's mask, everything. That same helmet all the time. That's back when men were men. You gonna hit me in the ear? Hit me in the ear. I'll be fine. Just bleed a little bit. We'll be good. All right, we're gonna get our little pop here before open. Looks like. Let's see if we can get past the 8 this time on it. It's rejected all morning. It got up above it a couple times, but then the 21 pushed it back down. So we shall see. You might get a pop at open, and who knows? Could see something interesting.
I see you're copy trading your XFA. I know you were setting that up at the start of the stream, so
And
I
traded.
assume that's going to be your initial trade will be in that one.
Could be. I'm debating whether to leave it on here or change it to. I did reset that combine yesterday, so it's ready to go too. So it depends on what play I get. If I get a play that I feel really comfortable in, yes, we're going to copy trade it. If I don't, I might just cut the copy trade off and trade them one at a time. But we shall see. Copy trading is a great thing. It's also a very, very dangerous thing to play with. So just remember that, folks. If you are copy trading out there, $3 minutes till open. 3 minutes, 3 minutes. I got some buddies that from actually Oxford that diehard Yankees fans, and they all went up there yesterday to watch the game. That's pretty cool to see them up there. And I was glad they could actually get a win for them. You go that far to root on your team, it sucks to go watch them lose.
Yeah, it would.
Trust me, been there, done that.
Imagine going all the way to Ireland
Oof.
and watching your team lose to Georgia Tech.
Imagine going all the way to Tallahassee to watch your team lose every week. Oh,
I tell you, Tallahassee has some fine Wendy's establishments, though.
We're getting some Israeli news out. Israel began simultaneous strikes on the edges of Lebanon's historic city of Baalbek, I think. I don't know if that's right, but we're going to say it's right. It's to the point now, though. Used to, and it's sad that you get any kind of war news comes out, and the market doesn't really move with it much anymore. Oh, you bomb this? Okay, that's every day. That's horrible. That's horrible.
All right, 2 minutes to open. Any friendly prediction?
It seems like this is just my biased thinking here, and it could be completely wrong, but I would not be surprised to see us get a little pop. Then we trend down. We have trended up. If you look back, let's look at the 15-minute over. You notice we're getting these sell-offs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're in another one here. The thing about it is you were making higher lows. This one right here, you still made a higher low, barely. So just continue the trend, and this overall trend continues up. That's the question. We do have a zone down here that we definitely will watch if we get down here. That could be a big area if we get there.
I noticed on your downward trend line, you didn't do a parallel zone.
I'm trying something a little bit different right this second. I want to see an actual break, and it's not as easy to see when you do the zone, which I love. Is if the zones, it would be a little more. I'd have all this candle in and come down, but and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like this trend zone here. I mean, this level here. So I might take that one. I don't really like the way that is. If you're gonna do one, you'll probably do it straight down there.
Here's your open.
Probably something like that would be more accurate than what we had. Let's see what we get on MOO whenever it opens up. So far, we are not getting the pop at open I thought we might get. So this is a little more bearish sign, in my opinion.
Honestly, that's pretty weak open.
MOO came out. S&P 500 was negative 190 million. NASDAQ was negative 50 million. Dow was negative 70 million. Mag 7 negative 15 million. Everything is negative. So that is interesting. We'll actually take this one back out too, because I don't like it either. And we will sit here and watch. That 13 play was obviously a great play there if you took it. I have been a short in my personal account. We're already done with the other firm is done for the day. We've already hit our little goal in them, so we have no backup with them today. Start. Whoa. Go on and get Daddy some money over here on the personal account. Since we didn't take it there. Showing a little buyers down here. That's interesting.
Yep.
You got a little dip buyer stepping in. So one reason I think MOO is so important, if you notice, we got that sell-off there, but we were also negative on orders coming in, so that makes sense.
Flipping over to my side, kind of looking at Mag 7. Apple opens red. NVIDIA is red but climbing from its low in pre-market. We'll keep an eye on that one. But one that's interesting is Meta, kind of popped down right at the open, so they're kind of selling it off, quote unquote selling it off, but they are trimming it, taking some profit right out the gate. Amazon has actually gotten the opposite, where it had a little dip and it kind of saw buyers show up and hold its gains. Microsoft, similar scenarios. Meta kind of dropped down, buyers are stepping in, but AMD is getting taken to town. I mean, 151. Tesla fighting back at 160. Nice little pop here at the open. So you're getting ES. Could be, well, that's a nice wick. Nice wick.
If we break below this 8, I'm not going to take it. If you notice, I put a level here. This is the beginning of this little zone right here. So if we break above this, you could actually move all the way back up into here, which would be a nice little move. So I'm going to watch this. See if we get this break. I might take a long to try to get it back up toward that zone. Probably play it to about right there. If it does it. Of course, if it rejects, you could actually take a short here too. So with these bottoms, so these wicks, I'm telling you here, right? Buyers are definitely stepping in. If it wasn't such a big candle, you could take a long and then put your stop here. But I really don't want to put a stop with 6 or 7 points. That's a little dangerous there, and especially just getting a rejection. So we're just going to wait and see what happens. We never did get that break there.
Yeah, I was flipping over to my chart. Obviously, the candle's still going, but it got right in that zone that I had drawn. Couldn't quite break through it, so it'll be interesting to see. That would be yet another rejection of that zone if this stays true.
Let's see, we got 30 seconds of this candle. Get a close below. Well, if you can close below 8, I might take a short, but it's going to get that close below the 8. Let's see if we get any kind of pop up after this and entry point.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm talking it, but I'm not trading it, if that makes sense.
So you have a candle by candle here. Would you flip over to the 1 minute chart and see how that looks to play onto that?
On candle by candle, I don't do the 1 minute.
Ah.
Only on a trend break am I going to do the 1 minute. I really like to get in here, but it's not going to give me an opportunity, looks like. Maybe, maybe not.
Flipping over to Tide, I know you're in the middle of that. You got puts rising, calls dropping, put volume high up. Again, early, but kind of signaling what we may have in store for the day. Yeah, so put starting in the lead.
we shall see what it does. We're in a short here. We got in. It gave us our entry that we were actually looking for. And actually gave us a tad bit better than what I wanted. So can't complain about that. Now let's see if we can just get a few $100 out of this. And notice I'm not playing 3 chicks.
I missed this zone for anybody on NQ. Wait for the zone set. He's looking for 2570-ish for an NQ for dip buying area. Flipping over to NQ, that would be about 70 points, 50 points, 50 points.
Okay, we took profit on one.
Nice. So you can get a breakdown. Your 5-day moving average for ES is rapidly approaching 58.58, and you have the top of my zone, long-term zone, about that area as well.
Yeah, it's not
does
really
does find it. Does find yeah, it's finding the buyers. Finding the buyers down here.
You notice we've talked about it a lot before. It doesn't like to make low overnight. They typically don't hold in the highs overnight. So first thing we did is we did go take this low out right before open. So the question is, can I get anything else from it? You can see where I have this last one at. It's right here at this little zone here. This little area of consolidation I'm looking at. If we start to run, I would move it down with it, but so far we have not really run with it. We're just kind of chilling here. I could go and take a couple $100 here and call it a day. Probably should go and take a couple $100, to be honest with you.
Not a fan of those wicks down there.
No, it's a little late, but not a couple $100. We're going to take it there. $220 on that. That's a good start. I will take that every day. We are not locking. We're going to wait and see if we can get another entry point somewhere. CBD's kind of climbing up too. It was negative 8,000. We're kind of in the negative 6,500 range now. So
here's your tide update. You got puts still rising, calls still dropping, put volume rising. And on the holdings, similar scenario. Let's take a look at what's moving. Oh, there you go. Communication, materials, energy. You've got healthcare getting blasted. So that healthcare earnings this morning must have been bad.
We should have held.
Yeah.
I talked myself out of that trade there, fellers.
There's your 58.58.
Yeah, it looks like it could have more downside. I did go and take profit there on the personal account too, so we got it up $20 or so, not much, just a little win out the box. Man, that counter by counter played out so good, and we let it go. We got in. Our entry was like right here. Still to be holding. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. Let there be carnage.
Oh.
Yeah, and the other firm we're talking about that I was already done in, I went on and got a few hundred more out of it too. I couldn't help it. I don't know. I chased it a little bit there and it paid off, so it's okay. Okay, $209. So in that one, we got a total of $709.40 is what we made in those 11 accounts this morning. So
nice job.
We're going to make sure we hit exit all multiple times. And then we'll check all of them to make sure that we're not in anything. And Logging out. Biden, the GDP report shows how much the economy has strengthened.
Does it?
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, okay. All right. I really don't know what to say to that. Like, I mean, there's so much stuff you could say every day, but Lord have mercy. We should have held everything longer. My goodness.
Here's your 20-day moving average.
Remember me telling you I wanted to show you that $1,000 trade? Well, we just missed it.
So it taps the 20-day here at 58.49-ish. And you're seeing a little bit of buying come up, but I don't know how much more you're going to get from that one.
Let's look at some fibs on this move down. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Got them up. Let's see if we can get anything. Remember, the shallower the pullback, if it does pull back, the stronger the trend is. So don't forget that. Are we supposed to be showing my chart or your chart?
There you go.
There we go. This is just on this opening move. So can you go through the candles leading up to that drop? We can, but they're really, this is a dirty, hairy question. If you want to look, let's so if you're talking about this drop here, this was actually a drop at open. So you can see this consolidation. You really got no, I'm not seeing any lag. So you can see here you got this whole consolidation area. If you want to take a short off open, oh, that break there would have been the one that you were looking for. It actually broke it, came back, retested, and dropped. So there's a million different ways you could trade this. We did a candle by candle because you had this bearish engulfing here. It came back up, tested this area. We got in a short, and of course we cut it way early. But it's, I mean, I kind of played out. I said, I was thinking we would actually get a pop it open, right? And then get a drop. We never actually got to pop it open. We just got the drop, which was a little surprising to me. Caught me off guard a little bit. I caught a little bit of it, but I mean, you can ask Roy if we would have got the pop that I wanted, and then the rejection would have been a lot better of a play.
Mm-hmm.
We probably would have got in way, up here in this level and then wrote it down. But I don't know if that's what you're looking for or what. But there was really nothing. MOO came out. You had everything was to the negative side. Usually, you see some of the not all negative. You'll see like maybe the Mag 7 will be up and the ES will be negative. Dow will be up. Every one of them was negative and a good bit negative this morning at open, which means you had a lot of people dumping at open. Is why we saw that move down, in my opinion. Roy, you agree with that?
I agree. I mean, I think the GDP number, honestly, it spooked quite a bit of people.
Yeah.
And so we're up in elevated areas, so you're gonna get profit taking up here, and that's, I think, what you saw.
Yep.
Your VIX is spiking as well. I'm not surprised given the move down.
Yeah, VIX being in that above 20 area, you got to be careful there. But we've seen what did VIX pop to that one day? Like 40 something or something? Just
sick.
60?
Yeah.
Just insane. Like, holy crap.
It was enough to make you say, what?
Right.
Let me see if I can pull that chart up. Yeah, so there's your VIX. Looks like our cut got completed. And one day.
There it is.
Yeah, 65.
65. That was an insane day.
Yeah. And getting a little move up here on ES.
Yeah. Oh, let's bring the. Oh, man, we have to check the fields off. Well, look where that 8 EMA is right there in the golden zone.
Wow. That was a heck of a recovery there.
It was so far. It definitely was so far.
So do you get a rejection? Do you get continuation?
We got 2.5 minutes left on this candle. So we shall see. I would love to get up in there closer to that 8 if we're going to reject. Oh my gosh, I just looked at DVD. It's negative 10,000. Where did that come from? Oh, don't give me a candle by candle to the outside. You'll sit here and watch it for a second, folks. Sit here and watch it for a second. Hard to go short down here. I was fixing to hit the. Looks like it's going to hit the 8. Do we reject off the 8? Like I said, this is a few times where we have not been able to get above it or break it for anything. So, but like I said, I don't want to just go short blindly here. Even though you do have, you got the 8 EMA and then you have let's try 1.
I don't hate a short here.
Yeah, they're going to fail or not? That's the question. There we go. I'm not looking to get rich off of it. We got 1 here. If we could work it back down, and I'm going to tell you, if it breaks here, we're not. It might pop up there. We're just trying 1 here. This is not a very I don't know. This is not a safe play for sure. Rosie made some profit off the bounce, so bounced nicely off a supply zone. And okay, I was just gonna ask you what you had there to play something off that level.
So did this qualify as a candle by candle?
It actually does, yes. So this is a scary part when you're sitting in a short. This is a scary part, but there's really nowhere for it. I mean, it's right there, so it shouldn't. If it's going to bounce, it shouldn't dip far into that candle, which it hadn't so far. We might want to get ready to cut this thing. That 8 is the key here. We're going to test it again. We're not getting a hard rejection, so that's actually not great for my short here. If it pops at 13, it's going to take us out, and it will be a little negative on the day. You taking a long, Roy?
No, I took a short and got hit.
You hit your 3 ticks.
I was a little bit less aggressive, unfortunately.
How can you be less aggressive than 3 ticks? No,
Nah, I thought we would get at least what I was playing for was halfway to the candle.
I got you.
To that 58, 54, 50.
Yeah, it's just going to pop up and take me out here, and we'll be red on the day. Those wicks at the bottom should have told us not to play with it. To be honest with you, I think I talked about that a slight bit, but those wicks give you indication that it's typically you see these wicks down here, and then they come back and they try to move it down one more time. Then you see it doesn't do it, and then you'd be ready to go long, but it didn't even got us a retest for that yet. It could get us here in a minute, but we've got 2.5 minutes on this candle here. A little over 2.5 minutes. CBD's coming way back, negative 8,800 now.
Puts or calls are coming off the bottom here.
Yeah,
Put volume shrinking. Looking at Mag 7, you've got NVIDIA basically mimicking the chart. Big push down, pushing it back up. Apple kind of with a green candle coming up. Microsoft, a little bit of recovery. Google doesn't look as strong as it did at the open, so it could be coming back a little. And Amazon does not look strong as it did at the open, but again, it popped up. So you could just getting a lot of profit taking up here before earnings, which makes sense. Meta, that faded a bit. I think it actually went red for a second. So keeping an eye on if these things can create some continuation. ES, though, is pushing up, hitting this downward channel yet again, but a strong bounce off of that bottom. Credit to wait for the zone. He had mentioned 2050, 2570 as a bounce point. It has now done that. Good job. Up 30 points from that zone. So we'll see where we go from here, but a strong move up, and you got a MACD potential crossing up. That's pretty deep on the selling. Flipping back over to Tide, you got puts slightly rising, still by the zero line. Calls kind of flattening, but still have a trend up. And you've got puts rising, calls dropping a little bit. So we'll see if it can actually break this zone. That's actually what I'm keeping an eye on. Or will it reject yet again? That bounce also coincided with a 20-day moving average. So you found buyers at the 20. Found buyers at the 20. So, yeah, you could, well, you're getting a VWAP test here. VWAP test, zone, trend, and orb high, it looks like. So,
yeah, you had a little period here. You had a little consolidation area. So I drew a zone at the top. And it just broke above that. So you'd actually come back to the 1 minute. We can get a candle close above it, then a retest. You would actually look for a long off of it, in my opinion. But it's above VWAP on the 1 minute. So that's actually a good sign. A 5 minute, you're testing it now. So if you get a little rejection here, I would love it to come back and test this, and I would take a long. Let's look at it.
I like it. I like it.
There we go. So we're going to put an order at 58.6650. a little low. Right here. 66.75. There we go. So if we get back and get it, we get it. We'll cut this here shortly.
Oh,
And this pop. We should have just done an order off of it. We should have done, but yeah, O is right. And then we would put a stop around here. So you're looking at like a 4-point thing if we actually get it filled. But we got to get it filled. Might do it on this one. Might not. See, nope. Not yet. Put it right there. It is just not getting me the pullback I want. Right on VWAP too. On the 5. Come on. Cooperate with me for just 2 minutes here, buddy. No, I want to cooperate with me.
come on. Cooperate.
We got this on. If we get a close, I will move this. Get a close above VWAP on the 5. We'll actually move it up probably, but we'll see what happens here. Ruiz, did you get your 3 ticks?
Why are you making fun of me, man?
I just like giving you a hard time.
I know. It's good to get some wins.
I am all about whatever works. So if it works for you, if it works for him, that's fine. I just like ragging you about it because
I know.
It's just so easy. It's so easy.
Coming back down for you?
Is it going to gain 1 tick from hitting where I just moved it to? Let's see. It's 5-minute shows. Below VWAP. That's not a good sign for it, really. Come on. Feel it and pop. 1 tick. Hey, you know what? Green is green. Green is green. Okay. 1 tick, actually. Whatever works. You make that green. Whatever builds your confidence is a huge key when you're trading. Sometimes you can see if I'm not really feeling it, I hesitate and I end up missing the bigger move. So confidence is what you want in this game. Confidence in being right. That's another thing. Limit your risk. If you're confident and you limit your risk, this game can be, I'm not going to say easy, but it can be very attainable. This is so frustrating.
I tell you, 1 tick on 27 ES makes you feel something.
Yeah. Now that's a different story there.
Yeah.
All right, let's counter close. Give us a pullback. Give me a pullback now. Come on. My goodness.
Oh, pending home sales was just now.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be much of a. And like I said, it's not much. 75.8. Previous was 70.6. Pending home sales change month over month, 7.4%. Forecast is 1.9, previous 0.6. So here we go with these people that have no clue how to forecast again.
So you wouldn't move your buy next to the 8 here?
Yeah, I should. I should put the bottom of that candle here. We've been trying to get this thing filled for what, 5 minutes here. It's really frustrating watching the 1-minute chart and you're not getting it, but actually I'm gonna put it right above VWAP now. So I should just take 1 here and add another one if it comes back is what I should do. That would actually make way too much sense, wouldn't it?
We're not here to make sense.
No.
We're here to make
Okay, make
dollars. Get it? I beat you.
Now, if it comes back to 58.70, we'll add one. And if it runs, it runs. If it comes back, well, we'll get stopped out down here and we call it a day. Right at the bottom of that zone. We can actually get off the 5 minute now. I'm at the 1 minute because the 1 minute is doing us a no good now. No good. If y'all remember correctly, this is actually the zone I was talking about earlier that I actually said if we pop above this is the one I actually drew, but this is when I said if we pop above this, we could run back up to the top of that zone. So we're actually popping above it now. So if we can get any momentum, we could get a runner up there to that 85, 75 or so. CBD's come all the way back down to negative 4,900, which is, it was a lot.
It was a bounce. Nice bounce off the 20. We've got market side. You got calls rising, stock rising, puts rising. So
CBD rising.
CBD rising. We got all sorts of fun stuff as we've now broken my little downward trend. So let's see if it comes back, retest, and goes higher. As we've been waiting on a retest.
If we get in this zone, just glancing at book map, we could definitely go to 58.90.
$58.90 would be incredible.
Yeah. Well, once we go to 58.90, we could very, very easily go to 5,900. So just something to keep an eye on here, folks. Something to keep an eye on. It's definitely a strong move back up so far. Can they sustain it? That's the thing. CBD is not really crazy. It's negative 5,100, so it's not running. Am I better? Absolutely putting, Ted. Sometimes I struggle hitting my driver. As a golf question, so you know, everybody out there.
Flipping over, taking a look at Mag 7, you got Apple down 0.5%. Not a great looking candle there.
Click on that VIX chart.
Yeah. Woo. Woo.
Yeah.
It completed the cup and it's coming back to make a broken handle.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I was in 2 right now.
Oh man.
No, I can't hit as far as I used to. Lead. So I hit a 3-wood off the tee a lot of times now just so I can keep it in the fairway. CBD coming back pretty good now, negative 43, just dropped 800 points. VIX looks like it might want to show a little green candle here. So this actually might be another entry point here to add to this long here in just a second. We want to see if it comes back and test VWAP. We might add one back here.
Flipping over.
And you look at this candle by candle. We were actually short here. These wicks right here kind of tell you the story. And then it came right on top of that one, Roy. That was the perfect candle by candle. It just didn't give us enough room to pull back.
That's the hardest thing is when you're in the opposite direction.
We're going to try to average up.
Actually kind of an ugly candle on VIX.
Yeah. All right, we got 2 now. There we go. So we're going to put one cell right there in this zone. Leave it right there. Moments of rage. I don't have moments of rage. So crazy.
There we go. Apple, not really looking great there on that chart again. Nvidia is your savior here for the market. It's now recovering. I mean, that not the ES chart?
Yep.
Just
You actually had it on there earlier, and I was looking at my chart, and I was like, it's the same chart.
Microsoft recovering from its initial profit takers. Google seems to be finding a happy zone after its massive move. Amazon's still trending down a bit. Probably will continue to see that given its earnings and its pop that it's already had. And Meta, similar scenario. You could see it kind of trending down. AMD showing a little bit of life off of 150. It actually cracked below it for a moment and found buyers there, which is not surprising. Bitcoin's cooling off just a hair, down 0.5%. But after its move yesterday, that's a pretty good sign that it's looking like it wants to continue to hold its gains and be strong. And SMCI is finding some buyers after its 30% drop this morning.
I just don't see how. It's just that accounting news is just a horrible look.
Oh, yeah, bad look. Call volume has now taken over on Tide with call premium kind of ticking down a little bit, but put premium still kind of trending upward. And on holdings, though, you've got more puts with calls kind of dropping here. So keeping an eye on all that. I'll flip over to your chart. And so nice pop here. See if it can get up to that 80 range.
Yeah, we got an order sitting at 79.50. We can get up there and take this first one out. Be nice. They're moving orders above 58.80 here, so I don't know if we get a pop here. What we get? It's a little strange looking. They just pulled them right back to 58.80, so never mind that. Now they're moving them back up again a little bit. So who knows? They're playing games with orders. Playing games with orders here. I hate it when they do that stuff.
Good sensor there. Good sensor.
Yeah, I can catch myself. CVD is negative 3,800 now. It's slowly creeping.
Oh, there's your pop.
Oh, hey, what's up there? Got rid of one of them. All right, let's see if we can get up here. Give me a great day. Give me a great day. We're gonna move this up. We're gonna move to the bottom of that candle. So if it goes down now, we are going to be flat on the day. Look what it hit right there and hadn't been able to get across yet. Look what it hit. Came right back down. That gum trend. See if we can pop above it. If we pop above it, guys, it's giving us another opportunity to go long again, just so you know. So got to get above that and hold. And then what you would love to see is pop here and then consolidate for a minute. And then you would look for another entry to get back in long more. So
Yeah, no, it's doing its thing right now, isn't it?
yeah, so far.
Man, look at those candles. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on our 6th screen candle.
Yeah, let's get a 7th and get above this trend line. Then let's break that trend and get a little pullback, and then we'll add to it. We'll have 2 again, and we'll go long again. Cannot break that daggone trend so far. My gosh. Howie, remove it, Howie. Remove it.
Oh.
Question: do you going to take guaranteed $400, or do you try to hit the big boy? Should have took the guaranteed $400, I guess. Re-entered, but it is what it is.
I was gonna suggest something, but it was happened too fast. I was gonna say, break the copy trade, take the 400 on one account, let another account ride it.
We're going to take the 300. We're going to wait and see if we get another opportunity. We're $300 up right now, so we can't complain. Can't complain on that at all. Now, where do we come back to re-enter this bad boy? It got right up to where we said 58.80 and has rejected 58.80 so far. We're not going to rush. Even though I like the long again here, to be honest with you, the break of the 58.80. We're going to actually add one here and get in it. See if we can get that break. Might be a little early, but I love this candle. I love this. I love these wicks. These bottom wicks is forming. So I don't think it's that big of a stretch to get a pop. CBD's gone to negative 3,800. CBD suggesting that we're going to get a pop. They're moving orders above 58.80, so we should get this move above 58.80 this time. Should. They got them right at 58.83 and then 58.90. There's kind of more supplies there. So give us this break and we get a nice little runner up. Give us the break.
I think you got to delete that trend line, man.
You
got to delete that trend line.
I'm not going to delete that trend line. So we're going to break that. We're going to break that trend.
Your point of control is right here at 58.78 as well.
You notice we came right back. This little zone we talked about breaking came right back and tested that little zone before we pop back up again. So it's actually, you got a lot going on here. Negative 3,600 CBD. We need that pop. We need that to go to 0, and we are flying, boys and girls, flying.
Took a long in a combine. I don't even remember where I took it. 58.71. Wow, actually pretty good on that one. No. That's my stop. 58.76.
I was looking to say, you had a hell of an entry there, bro. Is China looking to divide and conquer as it boosts defense ties with Vietnam? The old people say Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Back in there. Oh, just chilling here. Need a little pop. Which stock sectors could sink or soar post-election? They could both all do either. Post-election is interesting. Very interesting. Let's see if
historically, I believe it's up, right? Post-election is a pop. Pre-election is
there talks about if a certain person wins that they will not certify the election.
Right.
So that would cause a lot of turmoil, which would seem in turn would cause a lot of issues with the stock market. That's not a political statement. That's just a straight up dollars and cents statement.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, there's too much money at stake to try and do some of that stuff.
Yeah, I saw a prediction. It was some radical guys. Like, hey, they're not going to certify the election. There's going to be civil unrest, and then the government's going to declare martial law, so nobody can so the government stays as is. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, y'all conspiracy theorists, guys. I don't realize how y'all sleep at night.
Get the clicks.
How do you
mate.
sleep
Get
at
the
night?
clicks.
Worrying about everything all the time.
Oh, my combine
Right
built. Yeah.
Huh? What?
58, 82, 50. I got myself. All right, cool.
What'd you do?
I took a long on a combine that I just it was a new one, and I just put it for a $1,500 profit at 58, 82, 50.
There you go.
Hit it. Oh, that's nice.
Look at this.
That rarely happens. Yeah.
Just took my money out of Top. Is that a Thinkorswim? Yeah, it's horrible. Horrible. Schwab took over Thinkorswim and they just destroyed it. Led, you still use Thinkorswim?
I believe you. I still use it for options. Just the Thinkorswim web application, like the web page, is not bad.
I had a good chunk of money there, and I rolled it all.
Is that why Schwab dropped like 2% that day?
I didn't have that much in there, but I had good. It was enough for me to feel. I don't think that money caused Schwab to tank. I don't really know what to do. I've got some in Fidelity. I hate Fidelity, but you can talk to Fidelity, and their customer service is super nice. And then I've got some in Webull. Hell, I've even got some in Robinhood IRA. So I've got a little retirement account stuck. I got a set with my self-retirement fund is with Fidelity. And it's just so easy to manage through them. That's why I have it there.
So what are we thinking here? We're liking this candle or
It's fought back. So
yeah.
we'll see. I mean, I'm still in the long. I should probably cut it. We'd make 450 so, but don't know. We're gonna hold it. How are you enjoying futures on Weibo? It's interesting, Rosie. I don't hate it. It definitely takes some getting used to. But it's pretty simple to use. I've got a Turbo Trader page up here right now. It's got everything. It's I've got level 2 data on it. I've got all my stuff. I'm trading MES with it, but it's better than TradeObate if you want the nuts and bolts to it. It's a lot simpler to use. It's easier to add indicators to it. I've got it set up just like I've got Top Step X set up here. I've got the same indicators, the same level, same zone, same everything. So if I don't have one handy, I can let the other and still use it. So
not to cut you off or anything, but would this be considered a candle by candle in your eyes?
I think so, but we'd have to see how far. If it comes down and breaks it here, I wouldn't think so. The only reason I would like this trade here is if you're going to add off this trend line, since we closed above it, add off that trend line to hold and to bounce back up. So you can play it like a candle by candle. Typically, you like to see, let's get down here and look at it a little closer. So you want to see if this candle was just a tad bit bigger, and then it actually gave it room where this candle kind of came back into here, so you could have room to come back in it before you play it. But see, like right now, I'm not liking it. Now you're getting a tweezer top. So
tweezer top and a potential short candle by candle.
Right. Back above the
And
trend.
as I say, I'm flipping over to NVIDIA. NVIDIA. The wicks here above VWAP. Oh man, I almost said it and I had to catch myself.
VWAP.
VWAP. No, VWAP. Getting in a win is Rome situation here with you. Microsoft pushing higher.
I can look. I
Goose.
can show you a ton of people that say VWAP that are not just Southern too. So y'all can all suck it.
I mean, I think that's a beautiful example of internet biased confirmation there. So meta rejection of VWAP. Tesla recovering. It's at near its high a day. AMD or AMD. Whoever's out there trading AMD, if you like it yesterday, you will love it today. Again, kind of going back to Apple. I think the chart of the day though is here is the VIX. It's kind of muted here.
Yeah, it's kind of bottomed out. Seems like for the moment.
Yeah, so it's
waiting for you to
keep an
get
eye
there.
on that guy. SMCI had its little dip buyers. Let's see if it comes trending right back down. I mean, that was just bad news this morning. It's an ugly chart, so we're just going to share it because it's ugly. Dixie came roaring back down. Whoa.
Wow. Hey, let's take a glance at gold. I want to see gold.
Gold? I can do that. Actually, need to add gold. Whoops. Gold. So, yeah. Gold. You know, the 5-minute chart doesn't tell the story on gold. This tells the story on gold. That's your story on gold.
That is insane.
I think me and you were degening it. Where are we at? Right about here?
Yeah.
November of last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we were like, oh, it's gonna hit 2,000.
I remember breaking 2,000. I think I remember one time I texted you like, "Hey, look at gold," and it was 2,200, and you were like, "Holy crap!" Like, yeah. And now look at it.
So
beautiful
right, chart.
We're up.
Beautiful chart.
This candle's looking good. My play, what I said about adding on the trend would have been a decent play there. So here's to you. Ooh, that was ugly coming back real quick. Don't know what happened right there, but it's recovering off of it for a second.
You had mentioned pop up, consolidate.
Ended up making an actual ugly candle after all. So let's see if it pops back above it. There was your candle by counter to the short side, Mr. Roy.
I couldn't do it. I can't do it. I know you should. You don't have to play every candle. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, what worries you if you're looking at short? You look at these wicks. These wicks here. Yeah. This wick here, this whole candle here set the whole play up. Any pushback we're getting now, they are getting it, moving it back up. Even this candle here that is a bearish candle has a decent wick on the bottom.
Yeah.
But this is technically considered a reversal candle here, so we'll see. We'll see.
I'm going to share this. I'm kind of looking through the comments now. It said it was an intense. He was down about 20 points on NQ, copy and all, but he had faith. Part of the process in trading is how you handle when you're down, and whether you can put your emotions in check and control it. And you've seen us live face red trades and try to figure out ways to get ourselves out of it in a mental state more than a trading state. So good job recovering. He's green now and locked. So enjoy your day. It is easy to get caught on the wrong side of things, and it's even harder to lock yourself out and enjoy the rest of your day. So, good job. Yeah, keeping your emotions in check is important.
Mm-hmm. So if you ever see the majority of books I recommend, there's a few technical analysis books I recommend, but the majority of the books I recommend that people study are all the mental game of it, pretty much. That's the first ones that pop up.
Yeah, and you'll see on this channel a lot of what we do. We'll joke around, we'll have fun, but it's trying to keep a kind of a stoic demeanor to us because you can't get too high and can't get too low. You have to keep your emotions in check because at any point you can get yourself in a pickle. You have to be able to mentally get yourself out of it.
Yeah. Yep.
So we are pretty boring at times, but there is a method to this madness a little bit.
Yeah, and well, a lot of people think this is boring here. This is actually very interesting to me because what I'm watching here, it just break back up. Now we're having this consolidation area, right? So you're looking, if we get a break above, you should see a decent move up. So while we're still holding these.
Flip over tide, you got a cross on the calls. Sorry to cut you off there, Monty, but I wanted to show you got a cross on calls and a drop in puts. So call volume is rising, which favors your long position. And holdings wise, you've got calls rising up, puts kind of ticking down. So as we watch, we wait and see.
The funny thing about this is, we've actually got in this trade, re-entered, and got back in. I'm tempted to take it here. I'm not liking how it's struggling up here at this level. Even on, if you look left, right, there's all this consolidation as you go right there. Well, that's where the most bounces are, up or down. So if we can get this break, we might actually move this up to there and then start trailing it. I don't want to trail it too far up now. We can trail it some, but I don't want to get too close where it stops us out either. And this is the XFA. This is money. So this is not a combine. We're going to take it. That's $400. I'm just not liking the way it's playing. It's doing here, and we can always re-enter if we see something. But I'm just not liking. We're not getting a breakaway off that trend line we wanted. So if we're crude up inventory's actual negative 0.1 million, forecast is 1.8 million. Wow. So huge miss on crude numbers. Huge miss. Wow. Previous is 5.47 million. So our crude oil inventories right now are horrible. So let's look at this. So you're getting a break. See it consolidate. And you could actually just see this just continue to move, and it could actually just follow this trend line down. So it's going this long because we popped above it. It's not the play. Let's look at a 5. So let's think about this. So let's eliminate these. Actually, let's move it. So now you got another little zone here you can look at that comes all the way back down. You could look at it. I would actually probably look at it. If it was to come back. We've had a solid day in these so far. I might swap to an XFA. Went to a combine now. And just take it I'm not going to lock those others out yet, but I'm going to. And we definitely could have another good play here somewhere. 9:30, 9:32. Hope you've enjoyed this boring day. Not boring to me, but it could be boring to a lot of you. So,
Then fireworks, as far as that move from the bottom, that's for sure.
well, that was another thing too. If you look back at this, right? So right now we're about $400 up on the day, and if everybody remembers correctly, we were short down here.
Yeah.
Kept our stop tight, and now we're 500, $400 up. We had the other would be about $500 or $600 up. We didn't take that stop, but you know what? That's trading. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. So we are wanting to win more than we lose. So now I'm looking if we can get back in this area. So let's swap over on the 1 minute. Looking for an entry off of it. Hey, I gotta hop off. The sun's still here, so
Yeah.
a minute.
We'll flip over, do our little market recap as this happens. So we're looking at Mag 7. You still got Apple red by 0.8. You still got NVIDIA red by 1.35. Microsoft 1.36 green. Google holding its gains from its big earnings. Amazon is now recovering from its kind of open. It kind of sold off of the open, and it's now kind of roaring back up. Interesting strength there. Same with Meta, kind of consolidating down here. We'll see if it can crack up and get back up in that 600 area that it was in pre-market. Got Tesla just putting new highs in, so good. Sorry, new high of days in. So good on Tesla for its recovery. AMD just kind of chopping around down here at the lower end, but all eyes is kind of on Apple. They keep kind of trending down here, which is maybe dragging the market a little bit more as NVIDIA now consolidating above VWAP. See if it can have a pop up to create. But it is at its high of day of the opening session, not high on during the pre-market session. We still got some ways to go about that. But the key number for NVIDIA is 140. See if it can get back above that. Looking over at Bitcoin, it's holding its gains from yesterday nicely. It's down only 0.11%, $77, which is incredible given how much it was up yesterday. Solana kind of being the laggard of the group. You can see it's just kind of downtrend since it broke that 181. So keep an eye on Solana. It's the DGen's paradise for the meme coins. As we look through SMCI, approaching 28% down, and it looks like ES is trying to give it another go at that pop. See if it can make a break above 58.82 and get up to that kind of 58.85 area. 58.90, of course, is the earlier high from this morning. But no doubt about it, that's a strong move, and kudos to those who kept an eye on their zones and played it off of that. That was a heck of a move, almost 40 points. Looking over to Tide, kind of spaghetti land. They've all kind of converged now above the zero line on the premiums. Your call volume, though, is in control, so that is important. As calls are now sneaking up again, getting a little dip here on the holding side, but we'll see if it can continue to just trend up and maybe do that cross. I'm going to imagine that Apple has something to do with that lagging approach. Let's take a look at net premiums. So SPY calls are dominating on the positive net premiums. Google second, Tesla third, Q's fourth. Not huge numbers, though, here. On the negative side, you've got AMD. Wow, some bearish bets on Meta. Looks like negative calls. So you're probably getting a lot of covered calls. Or sorry, no. Covered call. Negative entries there. So we'll see. Eli Lilly, DJT, NVIDIA, Microsoft. So could be some insurance happening right now as earnings are approaching. It looks like we rejected off that high, couldn't quite break it. So we're now kind of coming back down a little bit. Flip over to Monty, see if he's got anything interesting for us.
No, just coming back, catching up. I'm wanting to come back to this zone. Might take a long. Here we're consolidating, so you can do two things. You can either take a long here, or you can take a long on the break. It's not giving me what I want. Looks like I might just missed an opportunity. I'm on the 1 minute chart here. Gave me a perfect entry on the 1 minute chart at the 21. I did not take. You swap back over the 5, and you wouldn't have seen that on the 5. So kind of why I'm switching. I'm looking at the 1 minute more than I normally would. I don't suggest people just trade the 1 minute, but it's definitely good for getting your entries. And sorry, this week's going to be a little crazy. I got a sophomore in college that I don't get to see much. So in the mornings when he talks to me, so I talk to him while I can.
Never apologize about that. We all enjoy the people that we love the most to be around us.
Yep. Yeah, the crazy thing is, up until he was probably 15, that was my movie buddy, my TV show watching buddy, my anything buddy. And now, thank goodness, girls came in the picture and dad is. We're getting this test here again on the 1 minute, so we're going to look to get an entry here if it will. If you look at the 5 minute chart, the 5 minute actually, the candle looks a lot better. We're going to move this up for this break. So I'm going to play it up here. If we can get 2,000, roughly 2,000, that would be great. Might not do it on the XFA, but we might can do it on a combine. So
yeah, it is just consolidating up here.
yeah, that's what you want to see too. If you're looking to go long, you want to see a consolidation. You want to see a break to the upside. So that is the play you would like to see. I was thinking about what you said yesterday, how we can look at red and green candles and come up with a thesis of what could work on while we're getting in a play we're getting into. And it's just, I couldn't get that out of my head. Like, some people can't do that. And it's just,
yeah,
it's really surprising. People on Facebook and stuff, they're always looking for help and asking for help. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. I'm not criticizing or judging anybody that asks for help, but I'm always like, you can trade futures. you could learn a skill and trade futures. So,
and much cheaper with potentially more upside. Risk reward wise, you can't match it. It's like you go put $50 in a brokerage account and try and trade and see how fast how many trades you can get, right? You're going to be forced to be out of the money. You're going to be forced to do, if you're doing options, if you're playing equities, you can definitely do it, but you're going to look for the leverage stuff, the 3X, QQQ and stuff like that. And it messes you up. By the way, I hit $200 on my XFA, so that is now 5 days, 200 plus on that account, $1,350 total. Slow and steady wins the race on that. We're gonna lock it and switch.
Yeah, I got to thinking. I think I'm going to go ahead and lock these, just because we had a $400 day, and there is no need to take a chance on losing $400. So we actually want this below the 13. Risk a tad bit more here.
I don't like these wicks at the top. They're not big.
Yeah, but you're getting the wicks on the bottom too, so it's showing you we're in a consolidation area. I don't like CBD hanging around negative 4,200. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, tide's basically useless right now. It's just a spaghetti mess. The call volume is rising, but you also have to be careful with tide a bit on the call volume heading into earnings week. People do
Yeah.
tend to bet bullish, or they like the lotto tickets.
Yeah, I am not. I've done my fair share back in the day, and I've lost enough money. If you average out my losers and my winners, I'm probably still negative on them. So I just don't fool with earnings at all. And I have no problem playing sympathy plays off earnings because you're not getting the juiced,
Premium.
the premiums that you do on the other ones. But I don't do it much anymore.
Oh, can you believe it's already Wednesday? I feel like this week
know,
is
right?
flying by.
It is definitely going by fast. So
I was like, oh, I got a few days before my picks. Nope, got to come up with them tomorrow.
well, let me just glance through and see what I can put you on, or maybe I can help you out this week. How about that?
You know me, I will not turn down a helping hand. Everybody
I
has
would
good
not have
information.
much last week because I like Illinois. I like the picks you had, and it just did not play out. And that is sports now. So
That's sports. That's trading.
uh,
Oh, hold on. Look at VIX.
ooh, why are we not getting a move on ES with it? Strange.
Yeah, you're kind of getting an opposite move on ES, aren't you?
So Roy, you got Vanderbilt at Auburn. Auburn is a 6.5 point favorite at home.
Auburn's lost like 4 games by less than a touchdown.
Yes.
I think all of them have been at home.
Wow, this is actually really shocking. A&M is at South Carolina. A&M's a 2.5 point favorite. That's it.
Begging you. They are begging you to pick A&M.
Let's just go through. Let's look at. We're gonna look at top 25. I don't like the San Diego State Boise State. Boise State's 23.5. Over's 57.5. Would not touch that one. Ohio State at Penn State. Ohio State is a 3.5 point favorite at Penn State. I actually like that. I like that.
You like Ohio State to cover?
I do. I like Ohio State to win outright and cover.
While you're on that topic, real quick, it's relevant to what you're about to say. Did you see that Indiana, Ohio State, and Penn State are all undefeated at the top of the Big Ten? There is Oregon, Penn State, and Indiana. There's a scenario that if all three are undefeated, Penn State, Indiana, and Oregon, that Oregon gets left out due to margin of victory. So Indiana and Penn State could be your Big Ten championship.
Indiana's not going to win.
With the number one team in the country left out.
You're talking for nothing. That's not going to happen.
I'm telling you, Indiana. Even though they lost their quarterback, I think he's.
Here's one to look at, Roy. Duke is at Miami. Miami is a 20.5 point favorite against Duke. Now, Duke cannot throw the ball for anything. Their quarterback play, as far as being an actual quarterback, is horrendous. But Duke is 6-2. They're a decent football team. They got a pretty good defense. You've seen that. You saw it when they played Florida State with the 3 turnovers in a row.
Yeah. Also, to kind of echo maybe this being the play, you've got a personal ties there with the old Miami coach. There's a head coach at Duke, Manny Diaz.
Yeah, Manny Diaz sucks too, though. He's a good defensive coordinator, but he has been a flop as a head coach in most places. So,
what about your boys on the road to Arkansas?
I don't like it at all. We struggle in Fayetteville. We struggle in Fayetteville. Let's see what else we got. Indiana's only a 7.5-point favorite at Michigan State. Michigan State is not a good football team. I think Indiana is. I think their schedules help them out, so I think they could be a tad bit overrated. I think they win the game, but do they cover? I mean, we're looking probably a field goal game, maybe.
Yeah, could.
Interesting. How about this one? Here's one for you. This has okay. Never mind. I looked at it wrong. I was going to say surely this is wrong. I saw Kansas State at Houston, and I thought it said Houston was a 13-point favorite, and I was going to say, right, there's your bet, but no, it's Kansas State. I looked wrong. Louisville, Clemson, don't care what that line is, will not touch that because I don't like either one of those teams. Tennessee's at home against Kentucky, and they're a 16.5-point favorite.
I think it's a blackout game too.
Game of the week: Pitt SMU. SMU is a 7.5-point favorite against Pitt at home.
Pitt plays a bit ugly, but I think Pitt has covered in every game this year.
I watched them the other night, and surprisingly, they are not a bad football team. Now, the ACC is a different. You know this. You're a Florida State fan. You know ACC is not what it has been the last few years. Well, the last few years it hadn't been much, but you go back before that. ACC was a pretty stiff conference, and it's not right now. So
no, it's weak. It's weak. We've added more teams and gotten weaker somehow.
Well, because you got Clemson, who refuses to. I mean, you've got 4 teams in the country that do not have a portal player.
Yeah.
Army, Air Force, Navy, and Clemson. What does not fit in this right here? Okay. How much sense does that actually? We're about testing this trend again. We're going to actually add to it here. And this could be a bad thing. We're going to see.
I got the VIX chart up for you to look at. So kind of switch back to stocks. And VIX is popping a little bit. So your consolidation up there. Tide's kind of. Yeah, calls are rising, but again, I'm trying to talk myself into this a bit, and it's earnings week. The calls can rise. I like a crackdown of VWAP personally. I'll say it.
I think you could be right. I think you're right. This could stop us out, and if we do, we're going to lose $1,200, and we're going to call it a day and everything. But we have had a phenomenal day. We are overall close to probably 10 grand or so. So
let's go.
You can't argue with that. So we can take a little chance here. We're not risking a ton. If we do lose this trade, guess what? We still have another couple of days we can trade it where we can do the same thing again. So maybe shouldn't have added to it, but I'm here to gamble.
Yeah, and I've had a pretty good day. I've done good on the combines and got my 5th $200 day on Top Step on that account. So
great.
I haven't traded my other XFA yet. Probably won't today. Let it simmer. There's your move down.
Oh no, I got my stop. You can't see it there. I got my stop right below 13. If we break the 13, then we're probably going to run all the way down to VWAP. I'm not going to hold it down to VWAP because that's going to take a chance of losing this account. We're not doing that. So there we are. We're out. And we're going to lock it. We're not trading anymore. We're done for the day.
I think that is a good approach because there's just so much landmines. There's so many things going on.
Yep.
We've had a good day. There's no point to push.
We've had a good week, boy. We've had a good week.
We have that. We've had a good week. And as you can tell, I mean, VIX was kind of screaming at you on the move. Yeah.
Yeah, CBD. I told you I didn't like CBD holding negative 4,200. It was
Mm-hmm.
creeping up. It's negative 6,200 now. So, and that kind of tells you what you need to know about what's playing the CVD as your play today. I think it's more accurate than the Tide. We see that a lot, but look at that, Roy. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, how frustrating is this? Because I drew this whole zone, right? This little
Mm-hmm.
zone. I didn't want to draw just a regular zone. I want to draw a zone. And we came all the way to the bottom, and we have popped up, what, 4 or 5 points off, 3, 4 points off of it so far.
And it coincided with VWAP. It was a pretty good spot to
Keep it simple, stupid.
yeah. I took a
It could
short
break
on a
more.
combine.
It could do more. I'm not interested to do anything else but today. I'm going to actually get some stuff around the house done today. So we're going to chill. We are locked out of here. The other accounts I have actually logged out of, so I cannot go back, and if I do, it takes effort to go back and trade them. I don't want to put that effort in this morning.
Yeah, I think that's good. We'll probably call it a little early, about 10 minutes early. Can't beat that. 2 hours of work. Good day.
Got to love it. Got to love it. We'll see. We're done for the day. So we'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. You will see these exact same profit totals, everything balances tomorrow that you see today, because we are dead. I'm not touching anymore. When I look at this bounce off of it, you sorry dog, you.
Yeah, you got a wick forming on VIX.
Look at this. I mean, I just need to pay attention to what I draw and trade that. That was. I mean, I don't think I could have drawn any better to play. I mean, crap. It came right off of it. CVD's kind of coming back a little, back and forth. I still don't like. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I still don't like this long. I think if we get this break here, then I think we go all the way back to lower day.
Yeah, I mean VIX did have a wick, but it's VIX expiration today as well, so you can also see some shenanigans.
Yeah. So it is 9:55, right at it. And I think that was a good place to call it a day today. Roy, I appreciate it. Everybody that wants to see how I draw my zones, we should be getting that video out the next today, tomorrow. Can you repeat what you just said about low day? What, that if we break BWAT, we could go back to lower day? That's what I was saying. So if we break down here, lead, you could definitely see it trend back all the way back down, but we'll see. You could actually see it come down. This level here could hold it up. Right now, you got this little level holding it up. So it's got to get to this little level, and it's got to get to this little level, then it could drop all the way down. That's just my thoughts. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but if we get a VWAP break, you definitely could see that. So,
well, and I think it's confirmation of how strong you believe this zone is right here. That if it exits this zone, either up or down, it's gonna make a violent move.
well, here's the reason I have this on. So you have consolidation here, you got consolidation here. I drew on this consolidation right here, and then you have consolidation here. You could actually draw zones at each consolidation level to go through, and that could be your play. Like I said, this one right here, this is holding us up right now. And if you look at Bookmap, it's kind of showing you the same thing. I don't know. It's just a guess. And then, of course, you got this whole zone we drew here, which you can see we got up to it and we rejected it. The more times we test it, the weaker it actually gets. So it could actually break to the upside. So just kind of here. This one right here never should have went long off this because it never gave us. You're looking at this here.
Look at this candle.
Yeah, it's a strong candle. If you look at this trend line here, we never actually got a break above. We should have. Well, we should have. If you want to go long, instead of trying to take a retest here, you should have waited for a break to go long. I'm not a huge breakout trader. I think you get a lot of fake breakouts, and that could definitely mess you up. But uh, that was a safer play, a breakout trade. There was a safer trade than trying to get it off the trend line. My thoughts. That's what goes through my head. There's a lot of stuff goes through my head when I trade.
I'm going to run through the market real quick before we sign off so everybody has a good overview. ES having a good green candle off of that break. It has now broken this little downward trend that we had. This big green zone is a daily long-term trend that seems to be holding up. This zone's huge, though. It's like 60 points, so take that for what you will. We are above the 5-day moving average. Shout out to Tim's money on that one. And above the 20-day moving average. The 5-day is above the 20-day. We're not too far from it, but we're about 15, 17 points away from it. Looking over to NQ is red for the day. It's down 0.2%. But again, kind of one to look at on how we fare. VIX had a huge move up. It's now come down. Let's see what it does as it consolidates. It's now done a little bit of a cup and handle formation on the shorter time frame, 5 minute.
Your big green candle on ES is not looking too good right now.
Yeah, so it's getting a top wick fade right at the 8 ribbon. Still above VWAP, so you want to keep an eye on that. Flipping over to Apple. Apple just cannot get going today. It's down 1%. So its earnings are tomorrow after hours. It's not really following the trend of other places, of other big names. Same with NVIDIA. It's down 1.5%. You've got AMD earnings of impacting the AI sector as a whole, so keep an eye on that. And Microsoft kind of faded. It was 440 in pre-market. It's dropped down now to 436, but still up 1% on the day. Google is now trending towards its low a day, so we'll keep an eye on that. It is still holding its earnings gains. Amazon, as we go through it at 193.59, it's kind of, again, chopping around its low days. We could see profit taking on this pop up as earnings are tomorrow for it. Later today, Meta has earnings, so we'll see if Meta and Microsoft can hold their gains. Again, green on the day. Tesla continues to make new highs of the day. It's been kind of the darling for today as far as a recovery. And poor AMD, right back down to 150.30. So it just cannot get going. Dip buyers are not showing up. They are spooked by the data. Bitcoin just turned green. It's now up 0.13%. It's been red most of the day. And so that is very strong. And with that, coin is following suit, up 0.06%, just turned green. Flipping over to the Dixie. Dixie had a big pop up, 104.40. It is now trend back down to 104, and now it's kind of back up at 104.13. SMCI approaching its low of day. It's now down 30% on the day on some nasty news. And we will flip over to Tide. Tide spaghetti mess. Again, you've got earnings, so all this stuff can get a bit muddied. Looking at the sectors, your tech and healthcare, your two biggest sectors, and they're both red today. So probably why ES is kind of dragging a bit. Tide on this, SPY holdings, our calls are below the zero line, puts are above the zero line. You've got put volume rising. So that in a nutshell. Later today, got Microsoft, Meta, Coinbase, Hood, Etsy, Riot, Roku, Carvana, and Starbucks earnings. Within tomorrow morning, before we talk to you lovely people, Uber, Peloton, iPad, bike, $1 billion. MasterCard will be one to look at. And then after the close, Amazon, Apple, and MC Trading darling, Intel. all reporting tomorrow. That is my rundown, sir. I think we had a great day. Actually, I know we had a great day. And we will see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Catch you all in the morning.
Bye, guys.